Just ask your club to sign up for stop protecting Kai Havertz. And by the way, they still say, by the way, we need a left winger. I get it, but you also need a striker. You need a number 9. You need someone that will occupy defenses, a big name, someone that will come in and the league will fear that guy. Eucharist comes to your club, everyone is marking Eucharist by 2 players, at least in the first year. You elevate pressure of Bukayo Saka. You elevate the pressure of Odegaard. Even you elevate the pressure over Kai Havertz if he plays on the left.
Also, Partey has been Arsenal's best player anyway, so it's not like that position is like the position.
What is going on? And also, Declan Rice is the long-term 6. It's the long-term 6. Declan Rice can play the 6. He won man of the matches. This is Zubamendi. The Arsenal, I don't think the people that run Arsenal realize that they're in crisis. The people talk about the Cronkies. Yeah, we're happy. We're going to make Champions League football. You are in crisis. Your manager have been there for 5 years, haven't won a Champions League or a Premier League. The longest serving manager for a top 5 club without a Premier League or a Champions League. And he's still at the job. He's still at the job.
Can I ask you a question? I am not disagreeing that they need to add something new in attack. It doesn't necessarily have to be a number 9, but someone who's going to score more goals. And more so someone that can create some of their own goals. I think is really, really key. At the same time, though, that shouldn't stop them from future planning. So, say Zubamendi is and we all know how good he is. If he is the long-term replacement for Partey, but there's a likelihood that other teams are going to take him, should they drop that in the pursuit of that goal scorer?
Yes. Can I answer the question non-biased? No, I have a perfect example.
Or should they
I have the perfect example. My club did this in the summer, Terry. Okay. My club did this in the summer. Future planning for the future Alisson replacement, and we signed Mamardashvili. Would I have right now, in this current moment in time, dropped Mamardashvili to go sign a DM? Yes.
If that is going to stop them from buying a forward, yes, drop it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Think about now.
So I understand that. But see, again, for me, it's both for me. I don't think the link to Zubamendi is an issue, especially if they're buying him in the summer. But they can't get into this situation, Arsenal, with what Liverpool did for a few years. You know, when Edwards wasn't here, next year, next summer, next window, we get our guy. No value in the market. Next time, we get our guy. That's why Liverpool just slightly under Jurgen Klopp fell away. And Jurgen Klopp was partly responsible because he was suddenly had a heavy hand in transfers and he weren't very good at it. You know, he should have just been left to manage the team. So I think Arsenal got to be very careful. I think it's fine to look at Zubamendi. I think he's excellent. They should definitely be doing that. But come January, I think that, you know, there's reports that the manager isn't happy with these wide players. I think they've got to go out and try and break the bank for an
aura player.
Yeah. I think someone like a Nico Williams, somebody like a Gyökeres, somebody like Victor Osimhen. I thought it looked excellent against Spurs the other day.
He did.
He's fantastic. Imagine if they have Victor Osimhen today. You remember? We don't want
Terry, we can reverse this question on you. If you were the sporting director of Arsenal and you had 50 million, let's say your budget for the January window was 50 million, you could either sign Zubamendi or a striker. Who are you signing?
I'm going for a striker.
Yeah,
however,
we agree.
I would. It
doesn't mean signing Zubamendi is bad. It's just not the player.
If I'm told if you're told you only got 50 million, you could either spend it in January or you can spend it in the summer. I'm still buying that attacker over Zubamendi. Yeah, that's happening.
We agree.
What they've got, and this is where I think I've seen Arsenal fans debating this online, and I didn't see enough of them. Maybe that was my TL, where it's like, no, both is what you need. Maybe not in January, but that sort of they need to go and do it, because I thought one of the things that I got wrong about Arsenal this year is I thought that Martinelli would get back to a high level. I thought he'd improve from last year. And I know he scored at the weekend and he was quite a threat, but I thought he would. What I'm seeing from Kai Havertz is what I expected. Saka, to a degree, is what I expected. Odegaard went out injured as an example, but I just thought Martinelli would have got himself back to that sort of that what he was, I think, 2 seasons ago. Just not looking like that individual, looking really tentative, looking like he doesn't want to sort of run at his fullbacks. I didn't think you just need someone who's maybe a higher level now and got a ceiling. I mean, what's his name? Gravaskelia. I mean, every time I watch him play, I watched him play against Inter.
He has an aura.
I watched him play against Inter the other day, and it was just every time he picked the ball up, you could see the Inter players basically go, "Ah, shit."
Literally,
shit.
it's literally.
And that's. I think they just got to. They've got the. That could be the difference. And listen, the league might already be too far gone, which we're going to get into now, but there's still 3 other tournaments they can win, and they're going to be in the FA Cup in January. It's when it starts. They should still be in the League Cup at that point.
Palace at home,
and they'll be in the Champions League. Bringing in somebody like Kvaratskhelia, bringing in somebody in like an Osimhen Gyökeres, that could be the difference in those cup competitions. And I think what that does for Arsenal, especially for Mikel Arteta, is it buys him more time with this team. Then you add a Zubamendi in the summer, suddenly that squad, you put Zubamendi and Gyökeres in this current Arsenal squad, it looks and feels different. It looks
but you said
Arsenal missed the beat.
Zubamendi and Gyökeres. That's the key there. So
I agree.
So let's make this clear. Zubamendi to Arsenal in isolation is a good signing, 100%. But given the priority list, given our eye test, given what we're seeing from Arsenal right now, I would break the bank in January for a forward. I'll give you an example using my own club, because people get rattled when we say stuff about their own club. Currently, Liverpool are pursuing Marmoush. If you tell me right now, Hussam, would you take Marmoush or Zubamendi? I'm taking Zubamendi. Marmoush or Ederson? I'm choosing Ederson. Marmoush or Varela? I'm choosing Varela. Because that's the position we need the most in the team.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask a question about Arsenal. What about Mohamed Kudus in January? Is that good enough?
Very good. Aura.
Very good.
Aura. Do you know the difference between Mohamed Kudus? Okay. Do you guys know that, to be honest with you, in football, the people that play professional sport will know what I'm talking about. Do you know the difference between Saka and Havertz and Martinelli and Trossard? Saka is that guy. He is the guy that goes and asks for every single ball. He's like, give me the ball, I'll make things happen. Kudus is that guy. Salah is that guy. Kevin De Bruyne is that guy. Give me the ball. Kai Havertz, Martinelli aren't these guys. They aren't the guys that ask for the ball all the time. They don't have the aura in the game that keeps the opposition on their toes. Kvaratskhelia against Inter, when I was watching the game, Osam will tell you, I was nervous. Why? Every time Napoli has the ball, the first one to ask for the ball anywhere is this guy. I'm going to make things happen. That keeps the opposition on their toes. Always. Paul Pogba was that guy at Juventus. Arsenal don't have some of these people. They only have Bukayo Saka in the forward line. They only have that guy. Kai Havertz is not a difference maker up top. Martinelli is not. This is why I actually think Arsenal, they missed the beat. They should have gotten Neto in the summer instead of Chelsea, but they didn't want to gamble. And they still need a striker, an aura guy, a different guy. Let go of Martinelli or Trossard. Arsenal have a long way to go. That's the problem. To be that team, the team that has the De Bruyne, the team that have the Salah, the Van Dijks, they don't have these guys. And they need these guys. And Saka's still young, and the pressure is getting to him. To be honest, the pressure is getting to him. The way he was treated at the Chelsea, the way Korea rushed him.
Yeah. Those types of players will improve Saka indirectly in the
Rooney.
sense of.
Do you remember Rooney?
No, of course I remember Rooney. But
that was the kind of player that Arsenal need.
I know, but what will happen is when you add.
Do you remember Rooney? That's funny.
When you add a player, when you add a player of that level in, it makes Saka better indirectly because it frees up more time and space for him. And it's about right now. I think you can put one player on Martinelli, you put one player on Kai Havertz, or zones will look after them. Saka has 2 men taking him up. If you suddenly have 2 players that need to have at least 2 players marking them, it means Odegaard or Kai Havertz has got much more space to work in the middle. It changes things. So they need to do it. Speaking of the title race, though, Mo, why doesn't Hussam want to admit that Liverpool are now the favourites?
Do you remember Rooney?
I'm going to tell you what. Number one, Hussam is a little bit, my interpretation is Hussam is a little bit traumatized from the Man City chase and all the stuff that happened. No, he asked, but your name Mo now.
I asked Mo.
Your name now.
You asked Mo about me. Okay.
Sam now is a very big. Sam is a very big personality on YouTube now. He's afraid to get clipped. He's afraid of the people cooking him. He's a massive personality on YouTube. He's afraid to say we are favorites, we can win the league, and he gets clipped and people make fun of him at the end and he shaves his hair or beard or something. I actually think that Liverpool have every bit of a chance like Man City at the current moment, especially with Rodri's injury. Are they favorites ahead of City? Not yet. Because even though City are horrific, they're still only 5 points or 4 points behind, 5 points behind Liverpool.